And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 25, I think it is, right? Yeah, it's episode 25. Episode 25 of the Pinch Talk podcast with Mario and Pat. My name is Mario. My guy Pat is over there. Say hello to the folks.
What's good, people? It's good to be back. Episode 25. It's been 367 days since we started this podcast, and we want to thank you all for being on this journey with us.
Yeah.
And so we've come so far in these 367 days. It's been really great to see personally. It's really correlated with personal growth for both of us, and I need to thank Mario because I kind of just randomly hit him up and was like, "Hey, bro, can I talk about baseball with you?" And
yeah,
he's one of my best friends now, and
because I was doing this shit dolo.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and Pat took. I think we did the AL East preview was the first episode we did, and we just shit on the Red Sox a little bit. That one, I remember that.
Yeah, I did. We did, and we did like the first. We did the 6 division previews in like a week, so we was just
we were pumping them shits up.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of jealous of Pat because he gets to be at baseball games now, and I can't. But like, yeah, man. So like, y'all follow him. He does threads like during the live games for the Indians. It's low A, right?
High
A affiliate.
High A affiliate.
He covers everything. He interviews people. He goes in depth. Like this guy, like he's doing some shit right now. So yeah, I'm proud, man. Like it's been a year flat. You growing like crazy. Pause. So, so this is episode 25. There are a couple big topics. First of all, I want to thank people for sending questions that we're going to answer later on in the episode. We got 4 questions to answer. And I encourage y'all to send more questions because, I mean, the more different shit we get, the more different topics we can get to. More minds get to more topics than with just 2. So, yeah, I'd say, I'll keep those for the later part of the episode. For right now, I'd say there are 2 main topics. Now, I had one that was, the offensive environment, the ball being deadened. And then Pat actually reminded me that, the A's are kind of, as always, they're kind of, it almost seems like it's inevitable now that they move from Oakland. So we're also going to talk about that. But let's begin with the offensive environment. Now, you all know this already if you've been watching baseball. I mean, not just strikeouts, I think the hits are actually the lowest they have been since the year of the pitcher. Yeah, that's actually true. Offense is down from previous years. Hits are down. Strikeouts are up. Balls in play are down. Just in general, the 3 true outcomes are taking over the game. You're seeing more swings and misses than ever. You're seeing reliever usage. And people are kind of freaking out. I think we both agree that they are going a bit too far. People are going a bit too far, and they're being a bit too anxious with this. But there is something to being, a bit scared about it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and people need to have balance. First of all, freaking out over a month of data, and a month that's also the worst month for hitters is very stupid. Second of all, guys can't hit the contact for anymore.
It's just tough. You got to be
harder
to do that.
It's harder, and many people are just labeling hitters incompetent instead of sitting back and realizing that pitchers are better and they are getting better each year. They're taking I say like a tenth of a quantum leap every year, and no one is just being objective and looking at the fact that pitchers are great and they're not appreciating it. I mean, I understand you want to see action on the bases, you want to see guys string singles and shit together, but I mean,
I think this all comes back to people thinking at the end of the day that hitters are the ones who are in the driver's seat.
No,
I think that's a mindset that people have in their head, and I think it's good that we kind of do that we kind of look back on the history of baseball. I'd say since the mid 1950s, because I think people will really start to understand where baseball has been going since that time. So in the 60s, pitchers started to take over. and they started to take over by the late 50s. And throughout the 60s and towards the end of the 60s, they got so good that MLB had to take multiple measures to counter the fact that pitchers were stronger, they were throwing harder, breaking balls had more break, they were harder to hit. It all culminated in 1968, which was the year of the pitcher. We all know about that year. One of the lowest scoring years in Major League history of modern Major League history. So after that, MLB lowered the mound, they shrunk the strike zone, they introduced the DH, all measures to increase run scoring, right? So after that, 70s and 80s, they remained actually, even though MLB introduced all those measures to increase offense, the 70s and 80s were still low scoring eras, relatively low scoring. There's a reason why the stolen base, got so popular in those times, because taking that extra base was important. Guys didn't hit for power. Like, it was a low scoring environment. And then people's vision started to get skewed because then came the steroid era. And I will probably say that steroids benefit hitters more than pitchers. I don't know if I'm going out, I don't know if I'm saying something crazy with that, but I think they did. And offense skyrocketed. And it got people again to think that, hitters are in the driver's seat when they're actually not. And you started to see, as soon as MLB implemented, drug testing for steroids, and they implemented all that, then pitching started to take over again. And in the late 2000s and early 2010s, we were starting to go into another dead ball era. By 2014 was one of the lowest scoring years in almost 30 to 40 years. Like, that year was incredibly low scoring. So MLB said, fuck that, we're going to juice the baseball. And then hitters at the same time started to swing, for the fences. Pretty much all of slap hitters started to disappear. So everything has come together now to create that environment. Pitchers are better than ever. Guys swing for the fences. What else can you say, really?
Yeah, I mean, you basically covered it. And people aren't being patient enough either. And
it's just one month of data, people. 1 month of data. Relax.
It just hinges around a lack of understanding about the game, and a whole bunch of biases that people have about the game based on the eras that they saw in the past and enjoyed in the past also. And you have all these old people, whether it be pundits, ex-players and etc., or just old people that are fans of the game, just dogging it. And it's like, if you were in your prime and you weren't a top tier player, even if you were a top tier player and you were out here in this era of baseball, you were not just going to do what you did back in 1985 against somebody throwing 89 mile per hour sinkers all the fucking time. Like, it's different, and you need to acknowledge it. And you're disrespecting the game and disrespecting the players, and you're doing a disservice to your own fandom with the bullshit that you're on. When you have guys like, there's some guys arguing on Twitter who was an ex-player, not going to say names. I have 40 years of professional baseball. These guys play in these small stadiums with juice balls, and they can't hit a lick. And it's like, it's different. It's right in your face and you can't see it. And then you got that She Gone dude and his whole clique of people.
I don't even know who that is. It don't matter.
Fuck it. What the bullshit? I'll say his name. Jeffrey Fry.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it don't matter if they want to talk crazy on the internet, we can talk crazy too. But and we know our shit. But he's basically anti-analytics. He pretty much
that shit bugged me so much. Go ahead.
He basically complains about guys popping their UCLs every other day, and it's just very annoying because he's part of the archetype of the older generation guys who think that this shit is fixable and it's something simple when it's not. No one, and they're not approaching with any nuance. No, you can't flip a switch at all.
As much as I'm sure we all would like to, have the solution to our problems, be like, like a magic wand. You can't do that.
And the funny thing is, nobody's giving the input of these hitters that are actually out there, and it's well documented that these pitchers are doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
And
Do you think anyone in the 80s knew anything about pitch design, bro?
no,
Like all these Edgertronic cameras. Like the shit is insane, man. Like the type of technology that's being used to develop pitching is crazy. And everything is being designed for maximum efficiency. That's why you see the mechanics you see now. Like you will see a lot of people complain, and I don't want to stereotype people because I also hate doing you're an old fan, you don't know anything. I hate doing that. But
yeah,
you'll see a lot of people.
I'll redact that and say they're part of an archetype, and there's also individuals on the other side of the archetype as well.
There's also young people who do the same shit.
Yeah, it is very annoying too.
But there are a lot of people who complain like pitchers like during after their delivery when they follow through, kind of like how they fall off the mound now instead of finishing in a fielding position. And I've seen people complain about that, and that's because like they're doing everything for maximum efficiency, man. Like they're trying to throw as hard as they can. Everything about mechanics is geared to throw as hard as you possibly can, achieve as much biomechanical efficiency as you possibly can. Like this is all being done. Pitchers throw less than ever, so they throw harder than ever. Like,
and relievers are better than ever, and they have better stuff than ever. When you have guys throwing 98 four-seamers that have ride up in the zone and filthy sliders, you got turbo sinkers, you got guys throwing 100-mile-per-hour cutters. I mean, what can you do?
Ridiculous.
I mean, it's ridiculous, and I understand Mario's position about curbing out the bullpenning to solve it, but at the same time, when you have 7 to 9 guys, 7th and 8th inning and 9th inning guys that are just obliterating hitters,
yeah,
there's no reason to stop from a competitive standpoint.
I agree. I mean, this is a kind of a whole different discussion, but
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not actually going to get on that because I've talked about it a million times.
We talk about it so many times.
Yeah, I've talked about it a million times. But like,
we covered all the angles.
Yeah, like the thing is, people need to start asking themselves, what do you really want out of baseball? Mm-hmm. Do you want, like, because people complain about things that are completely contradictory. No, like they contradict themselves all the time. People want shorter games, but they want more offense. What do you want, man? Do you want shorter games? Do you want more offense? Because you can't have both. You can't have both.
And mind you, with the swing and the miss we're seeing now, we're probably seeing the shortest games we've ever seen in the game.
Exactly. This year has actually. I'll go out on a limb and say that time of game has remained pretty stable. It has.
Yeah,
it has.
And the thing is, there should be no reason for us to worry about the time of game anyways, because baseball plays itself. It doesn't have a clock.
Exactly.
And you want to fuck with the pace of play by adding a pitch clock or making bad stay in the batter's box. That just takes away a whole facet of strategy of trying to get pitchers off their rhythm, or pitchers that work fast or pitchers that work slow, communicating with the catcher. It's just the changes people are suggesting are just too drastic in relation to what's going on, and it's not even that. It's not going to move the needle noticeably. Regardless, it's just going to complicate things and create a shift in the norms that's ultimately hurtful for the game.
Now, the thing is, MLB does fuck with a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. They've tried a lot of different things. One of the things they've tried is they have very publicly changed the ball after denying publicly that they hadn't changed the ball in previous years, which is just funny by itself, by the way. This ball, now everyone knows about it. I've seen pitchers say that the laces on the ball are thicker so they can spin the breaking ball better. I've seen a lot of studies saying that the balls are bouncier, which means they generate higher exit velos, but they also drag more, which means they don't travel as much. Home runs are down. I mean, home runs are still high, but they're down compared to previous years. when I first heard all this, like like all the all the takeaways people were having with the new ball, I actually thought, damn, okay, so a ball that drags more and generates higher exit velos, that actually sounds kind of nice. Because if you hit a hard grounder up the middle, then if the harder you hit it, the more likely it is to go through for a hit. And if it drags more, then maybe you encourage guys to actually not try to lift every single ball. The problem is, of course, if the ball also generates more spin, then you've kind of fucked up what you wanted to do in the first place. I don't know why MLB didn't just go back to 2014 baseballs like the ones that they already had, instead of trying to create a new one. I don't know what they're doing.
The 2014 and 2016 baseball is probably the happy medium to what they're trying to do. And just based on this whole debacle, you can tell that they're not really testing the balls. They're just guessing based on what the fuck the ball is doing and going on about their day. And it's ironic because the ball has become even more, it's become pitcher friendly. And the fact that pitchers have more movement and they're throwing faster.
Yeah, they are.
And when the ball is put in play, it's also dying. And with the emphasis on pulling for fly balls, you have balls that I've seen hits that, I've seen balls put in play that totally would have been home runs last year that just died and weren't track this year.
100%.
And
that happens at least twice, like 2 or 3 times a game.
Or they'll dip and bounce off the wall for doubles or triples or something. Yeah. Now, they really need to get their shit together and find
they need to know what they want.
A happy medium. Yeah, nobody knows what they want right now, and it's fucking up the game. And people are using it to bitch about the game, and it's just all bad right now. The coverage on the game is just in a very, very bad spot. Not to mention how individuals are complaining about the unwritten rules right now too.
Yeah, that is its own can of worms. Still, though, I do want to read the MLB average, like like the batting stat right now, because I just think they're funny. I'm not complaining about this shit, by the way, but I just think they're funny. MLB hitters are slashing right now. Well, not right now, but entering today, they were slashing 235, 312, 392. That's a 704 OPS. Now, that 704 OPS is actually pretty on par with most of the 80s and the 70s, whether people believe it or not. So offense in general is kind of at that level. The problem is, of course, hits per 9 are at the lowest level they have been since 1968. That's the problem for people, though. Again, not how many runs are scored, but how many runs are scored. And actually, I just saw a number that kind of blew my mind. Do you know how many doubles teams are hitting per game right now?
No, I don't.
1.49. Does that sound low to you?
That just seems low.
That is the lowest number since... Hold on. That is the lowest number since 1984.
Yeah, they might as well just give us the juice balls back if they're gonna play around like this.
Yeah, like they're losing. There are so many hits being lost right now. So many balls that are like you're seeing them come off the bat, and your first reaction, because you've been conditioned these past few years to think, oh, that's gone off the bat. You just see pop off the bat. You're like, that's gone, and it dies at the wall, and it's like, damn. I know someone's mad in the batter's box right now.
Yeah, the hitters' body language too this year is kind of showing
it's
it
bad.
because
It's bad.
they're squaring up balls and they're getting extra base hits taken away because the ball might stay up a bit. It's just
MLB should have tested this thing out before. Like, to my knowledge, they didn't even test it in spring training because the ball was flying in spring training.
They were using the last of the 2020 balls, I think.
Yeah, and it was flying during the spring. So they basically just said fuck it and just winged it, and that's bad. That's what you have independent leagues and the minor leagues for, to test shit like this. So yeah,
I don't know. You could hire some scientists.
Yeah. Like all the resources you have, MLB, and you really couldn't get this shit tested before you put it out there on the field, man. Really? Also, I don't understand why MLB doesn't just develop their own pine tar. You ever thought about that?
That
Just
makes a lot
develop
of
your own
sense.
pine tar and legalize it and give it to the pitchers.
Yeah, because the dichotomy is, when we talk about, oh, the pitchers can spin the ball better. Well, I mean, they can also control the ball when you make them play in April and it's cold and
Yeah.
they can't feel their fingers. And I mean,
Yeah. And while I will say that hit by pitches are at all time highs, my bad, not to cut you off, but I will say batters have a lot to do with that too. Go
yeah,
ahead.
they're trying to get on base. They're trying to get on base.
Everyone crowds the play, dog.
Everybody across the plate. And when you got out of the armor the guys be wearing now, I mean, why not? I mean, and think about the fact that by crowding the plate, it makes the ball on the outside and in the middle, a middle pitch. And that's what makes Jose Ramirez so great, because by crowding the plate, it allows him to pull the ball, fastballs on the outside and pull them for home runs.
That was crazy what he did. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, fastest hands in the West, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, that was crazy. If y'all didn't see it, I think it was 93, 94. It was a fastball.
It was 95 on the outside corner, on the upper outside corner.
Up and away, out of the zone. He
pulled it in the right field. And he does it all the time. And it's just, he did it last year when he hit that walk-off home run to clinch the playoff or postseason spot against the White Sox.
That was insane. When I watched it, I was like, what did he just do?
He's a monster.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's just different. Jose Ramirez is different.
And that man,
and he doesn't get his just due. He has the hands of Jesus. And I don't even believe in Jesus. But yeah.
Yeah, but if you believe in a higher power, Jose Ramirez has the hands of that higher power.
He's gifted.
He's a beast, man. Yeah, so that's basically that. Like, I don't know if there's anything else to be said about the dead ball. MLB just needs to get their shit together, and they need to understand what they want. Because if they want more offense, but they also want shorter games. You cannot have both, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
You need to pick. You need to pick and choose. So yeah, that's basically that. Unless you have anything else to say, because I mean, we're just gonna end up going in circles, and MLB already does that.
Just stop blaming hitters and enjoy the pitching.
Yeah, enjoy the pitching, people.
Enjoy the pitching.
Actually, starting pitchers are throwing more innings this year as well, especially the good ones.
Yes.
Like Shane Bieber's out here throwing 115 pitches a game, but
him, Zach Plesac, and Harrison Valley are
they're being worked right now.
Yeah, they
are. Yeah. So after that, that's basically the dead ball. Just stop bitching, people. Also, baseball regulates itself. Talk to me in August, I'll say, and we'll see how this season is going. I bet you guys are not going to be hitting 235 the rest of the way. So
no way. They're actually scoring more already this May. So
yeah, like it's going to change, man. It's going to change. Also, just give hitters time to adapt, man. Come on, like they're just seeing the results right now, and I'm sure analytics teams are actually going to, quote unquote analytics teams are actually going to tell hitters, it may not be smart to sell out every single time and try to hit one over the fence if it's not flying out over the fence. Because guys, like, pitchers have improved, but hitters have improved too. So, yeah, basically that's it. So now on to the ever-moving team, however you want to call it. It's always been weird to me that the Oakland A's are at Oakland. Maybe it's because I'm not there, but it's always been weird that there's two teams around that same area, Oakland and the Giants.
So,
I don't know.
It's not just weird. It's also very, very complicated because the media rights to the Bay Area is very complex. And there's also 4 teams in California, and they're both in a cluster order. 5. A's, Giants,
Dodgers, Angels, Padres.
Oh, right, San Diego. I forgot. I'm sorry, San Diego. I would never forget you. but I just did. It won't happen
Their
again.
Twitter fans are gonna go after you now.
Yeah, they are. I
That's trash.
I have a lot of followers in Padres Twitter. But anyways, San Diego's isolated. Los Angeles Dodgers and Los Angeles Angels share LA. And that media market's so big it doesn't matter anyways, but no one cares about the Angels regardless. And the Giants and the A's share the Bay Area, and it's very complex media rights. And the A's have a great history, but they moved like 3 times already, and it's very annoying because they established their prosperity in Oakland, and that's where the true golden age has been in Oakland. Whether it be the 70s or the 80s, 90s they were bad. I mean, 90s they were good. I want to say, can't remember.
I'm pretty sure they were just solid.
Yeah, they're probably decent. And then
I think the fans' perception of the front office and ownership doesn't help at all. You know?
Yeah, and then absolutely. Wasn't it the front office? It's mostly ownership.
I know, but like people always associate the two terms.
Absolutely,
even if they shouldn't.
But another thing is the writing is on the wall. And for you guys who don't know, the Major League Baseball put a statement out, I want to say earlier this week or sometime last week, about the A's not being able to get a new stadium funded and built in Oakland. And just to give you guys some context on what's going on, the A's want to build a new stadium on the waterfront in the Bay Area. And they want the Oakland taxpayers to pay for it. And the Oakland City Council is like, no. And I agree. And another facet of that is gentrification. Now, Oakland is a black city. Well, not a black city, but a diverse city, and it has a substantial black population, along with a substantial minority population of Hispanics, Latinos, and Asians. So, it's well documented that when cities build new stadiums, it usually gentrifies the area, and it happens in the area that's majority black. Just look at Atlanta with the new football stadium, or Brooklyn with the new Nets stadium.
Oh my God!
Just for 2 examples. I mean, they put that smack dab in the middle on Flatbush, and it really gentrified the area.
Yeah, with Jay-Z as the figure.
And he it's cruel. It's ridiculous. Now, do we want the A's to stay in Oakland? Absolutely.
Yes.
But if big business doesn't want to use their money to build a stadium, especially when the A's have a notoriously cheap owner that they do have, who doesn't pay his minor leaguers shit, who didn't pay his minor leaguers shit during the pandemic last year.
That's the problem for me. Yeah, you cannot demand all this money when you've been so damn cheap.
Yeah.
For so many, like the A's are so cheap that even if they started paying for free agents, people would still say, yeah, the A's, they're that cheap team that never pays for nobody.
Yeah.
Like they have that reputation now. You cannot demand money from the city after 20 years of that reputation. It just doesn't work like that.
30. And the thing is, the owner might as well sell the team if he's going to do all this. If he's going to put a gun to the city's linkage with the team like this, you might as well just sell the team to some ownership group in Portland and get it over with.
Yeah. I don't know how much the city of Oakland is willing to bend for this, because, stadium disputes happen in all sports all the time. Like anyone who follows hockey, for example, will tell you about Ottawa and what they've had to go through with their cheap ass owner, and, all the money that they've had to eat and they're going to have to eat to build that new stadium and that facility. How it's going to fuck up the city for years. That's a lot of fucking money that the taxpayers are having to put up.
And it's not like something that's going to offer incentives to the fans in the city, because he's probably going to jack up the ticket prices after the stadium is built.
Correct.
And the only people are able to afford it. And it's not like people go to Oakland and get A's games anyways.
Yeah.
The empty ass fucking stadium.
Yeah.
And it sucks because the A's have great teams. They have a great front office. They have a great culture. They
they
always
have
seem to they always seem to find good players, and
and they have a cool ass uniforms too.
yeah, they have some of the best uniforms in baseball and some of the best uniforms in sports. Honestly,
Yeah, there's those green uniforms they have. Those are sweet.
I mean, all of them are nice. I mean, the green and yellow, and then they got the ones with the pinstripes. They got the clean white ones, and then they got the yellow.
Yeah, they're
they
all
got
clean.
the solid green, and then they wear the throwback uniforms all the time too. So
Yeah, they're all clean. Like basically, like the stadium, everyone has known for years that the stadium is holding the team back in a way. But I mean, come on, man. Like if ownership is so cheap that it's a part of the team's identity at this point, how can you expect the city to pay out the fucking ass for a new ballpark that they're gonna have to eat? Like it's just not feasible. So
I think they want like 400 million.
Yeah. What the Jeff Passan article said is the Oakland Athletics say they will start exploring the possibility of relocating with the blessing of Major League Baseball. That's an important move. Robbie Manfred probably wants them to go to like Las Vegas or something like that. Yeah, a move that could put pressure on local government officials to greenlight a new stadium project. So basically, the A's are going to basically start making some power moves and tell the Oakland we are going to leave and get as close to leaving as possible to try to strong arm the city into paying for a new ballpark. Now, whether Oakland is going to go for this or not, I don't know. And to be quite honest with you, based on how ownership has treated the fan base and treated the city, I'd say fuck that. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. But on the other hand, they're the last team in Oakland, so that's going to be painful. And
yeah, because San Jose doesn't count, right?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't count. So yeah, like it's just a tough situation for the city of Oakland because I mean, at the end of the day, the fact that the A's are doing this with the blessing of Major League Baseball tells you, Rob Manfred is encouraging the owner of the A's to do this. So it's just a fucked up situation. So let's say that they do move, because it kind of it's kind of always felt inevitable that they were going to move at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they do move. Which city or cities do you think would have the best shot? Like give me like 3 or 4.
Las Vegas, Portland, Montreal, and I'd say
Nashville.
I don't think Nashville. Nashville already has like a AAA team there.
Okay.
Maybe Charlotte. Charlotte seems like a reach. So I'd say Portland, Montreal, and Las Vegas. With Las Vegas first, Portland second, Montreal third.
I would put Portland number 1 on the list personally. I think Las Vegas is. I don't know. I think Las Vegas is such a transplant city.
It is. That's very true, and they already have a AAA team there also.
And they just got a hockey team. They just got a football team. Like, how many more teams can you force feed to an area before it stops working?
Yeah, and the media rights there is also complicated. So yeah, I'll put Portland first, Las Vegas second, Montreal third. I know Montreal has been wanting the team back for a while, and they have the city size to do it, and it's right by New York. So I mean, there's a lot of dormant Montreal Expos fans around.
Yeah, they did get fucked over, but that's what happens with Jeffrey Loria. So yeah, Portland to me Portland just always seems to me like a baseball market that that they have never gone to. There are some other. Go ahead, my bad.
No, that makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
It just makes it makes so much sense to me because like Seattle is the only team within like the neighborhood, and that whole there's a gigantic area of the USA that's just like Seattle right there, and then nothing.
And especially with the with the Rockies, look like they're going to be in the basement for the next decade.
Exactly. There's a lot of fans in that area they can potentially grab.
Yeah.
Which just makes me mad because the Rockies could actually be a gigantic team.
The Rockies have so much media coverage and ground just in the West, in the area that they're in, and they just flounder because
we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that because we can, but there's no point because we've done it before so many times.
Actually, this kind of like this whole topic kind of brings up to me like an interesting question. What is one market, in the USA that you would think that MLB has potential in, but that they haven't gone to yet, aside from like Portland, for example? Because like the city I always think about is like New Orleans, but it's not a baseball town. That's the problem.
New Orleans, yeah, but the thing is, building a stadium on that in a swamp, basically, and you're playing in the middle of hurricane season.
Yeah, that's actually bad. Yeah, I can see why they don't do that. I just guess because it's such a huge like center of population.
Definitely, like, absolutely. What else would be interesting? Orlando.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball doesn't really do well in Florida. Pro baseball does, but that's because of incompetence more so than.
Yeah, the Marlins actually have a shot to rebuild their fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with how good they've been and all the Filipino and Afro-Caribbean players they have on their team. They're going to get a lot of fans.
That's actually a tough question. Because New Orleans makes sense, but what you said. Portland, we have already talked about. Nashville.
Montreal, we said Montreal.
Montreal, we said already.
Vancouver, no, not Vancouver. Columbus, Ohio.
I don't know.
Columbus, Ohio makes sense. And now that I think about it, the Indians lease is up in 2024, 2025, I think. And that needs to be renewed, and I hope the Dolans get that done. I'm sure they will.
You think they're moving?
I don't think they can. I don't think Major League Baseball will let them move because from some industry guys I know, guys that are well connected, it's just too much of a hassle. And considering that the Indians are one of the marquee teams in the American League, they're one of the founding members, and they've been in Cleveland since like 1901, like somewhere in the 1900s. It's a long ass time. There's just no incentives in moving.
I got another city. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh.
They already have a team in Pittsburgh.
No, they don't.
The Pirates.
No, they that was the joke. God damn it.
Yeah.
So, which city doesn't have a major league team? Well, shit, Pittsburgh doesn't have one.
Maybe.
That was a corny joke. I apologize.
That wasn't. I mean, it was, but it was actually pretty good. Maybe I actually like Charlotte. Now that I think about it, I'll double down on Charlotte.
They don't have. Actually, they don't have They probably do have a minor league team over there.
Yeah, they do. The White Sox AAA team is in Charlotte.
Yeah. Get a team in the Carolinas. Yeah, it's actually
Oklahoma City.
I'm not sure if that's. I mean, Oklahoma City only has one sports team, so
they actually have. Never mind. They have a AAA team also.
Yeah. Okay, so that doesn't make sense. So we'll keep thinking about it, but this is always an interesting question because
Oh, they could put a team in. I heard they want to put a team in Mexico.
That makes sense.
Mexico City makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense.
Baseball is really trying to get a revival down in Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I'll just move on from that because I could just keep thinking about this for like days because I'm like it's just like an obsession almost. Like, What do you do to grow the game?
Right.
Keep thinking about it. So anyway, with those two things out of the way, and by the way, I would bet on the A's moving. So if you're a betting man and there's somehow a bet for that, I would bet on that because I don't think Oakland is gonna let the A's fuck them again. So yeah. So now let's go to the questions. 40 minutes in feels like an appropriate time for the questions. I'm gonna throw the questions to you first, and then I can retort after you respond. All right?
Okay.
All right. So
You want me to respond?
yeah. All right. So the first question from Blake Street Banter, a Rockies account. That should have some good jokes. They say, and this time I'll actually make sure I remember to put a screenshot of the tweet in the video. I didn't do it last time. That's my bad. If you could put any player in their prime for one season on your favorite team, who is it and why? And also go Rockies. I agree with that.
Willie Mays.
That's a solid answer. Especially because y'all need an outfielder.
Yeah, we need an outfielder. He's a center fielder. He's the greatest center fielder ever. And I mean, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
He just turned 90, by the way, a couple weeks ago. So happy birthday to the GOAT. And it just makes too much sense. You can lead off, or you can actually, I wouldn't lead him off. I would bat him fourth, or third. I don't know. I probably bet him third. Bat Jose Ramirez second.
It's Willie fucking Mays at the end of the
day. It's Willie Mays. It doesn't really matter as long as he's in the top four somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Willie Mays.
I'm actually thinking about this. Because my team right now is trash and they have no prospects of future. I'm actually gonna go for a very selfish answer. I'm gonna say prime Verlander. I'm talking 2011, 2010, somewhere around that. Prime Verlander. Because
in Coors?
Yes, I want to see that.
Will his stuff work?
Hell yeah, it will. A changeup will drop like crazy, and he had a slider.
Okay, that's true. I'm thinking of the curveball. My bad.
No.
Yeah, it will work.
It will work, but I just want to see, like, I would just want to see, because I mean, y'all know, like, Verlander is one of my favorites. I would just want to see, like, that experience of having, one of those Verlander starts where he throws 130 pitches. Seeing that live, I would just like to experience that. So that's why I would put Verlander on the Rockies for this year. Because, I mean, honestly, Pat said Willie Mays, not just because he's Willie Mays, but also because, like, if you add Willie Mays to this team, the Indians are a World Series contender. You could put 3 Willie Mays on the Rockies and they probably still wouldn't make the playoffs. So, I just went with the selfish approach. I'd like to see Verlander, throwing 130 pitches in Coors Field, pitching complete games and shit. I just like seeing that.
Yeah, I would too. But yeah, Willie Mays makes sense. I could say Alex Rodriguez because shortstop is a hole for us as well. But they have so many shortstops in the farm system right now that it doesn't matter. I'd rather go with Willie, even if it's only for one season.
One question of mine: has Andres Jimenez let you down a little bit?
Not really. I was kind of expecting him to hit a wall and enter his like 70th, 80th, 90th games. He's showing flashes, but I also think Tito isn't playing him enough, especially during lefties, because he actually had reverse splits in the minors against lefties, and he's a left-handed hitter. And I also think, with young shortstops, it's weird. They just sometimes they just flounder. Unless they're like all-time greats. I mean, I was so spoiled because Francisco Lindor was just so good right out the gate.
Yeah.
You just peeling off 4 and 5-win seasons out the gate, and then he had that 7-win season.
Yeah, that's not common. It's kind of like me, like watching Nolan Arenado play defense at third, and then sometimes you get to watch mortals over there, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what it is, and that's definitely what the fan base is going through right now. But I mean, I still think Andres Jimenez is going to be a pretty solid ball player. He's going to play good. His defense look but he's also has some weird plays going over there. I think he's going to be a good solid player. I mean, if
these
2 WAR, 3 WAR, I mean, I'll take that from a shortstop.
Yeah, all day.
All day, every day. And as long as Jose I don't know. They have so much infield depth in the minors too that they could bring up. It's like, what do you do? I feel like addressing first base is more important right now than addressing shortstop because
Yeah, that's a black hole right now.
they have no. There
Your
was a
man
point where
Jake Bowers.
he needs to go to a Dodge dealership and start selling Hellcats. And
It's been bad.
yeah,
A lot of teams have been just throwing away wins at first
yeah,
base this year.
yeah. It's very odd, but they kind of relegated first base to like a utility role,
Yeah, it's weird.
and it's weird, but it's kind of fun to see guys be like, "Fuck the offensive expectations at first base. We're gonna put our utility guy here every other
Yeah.
day," and it's just good to see different things happen in baseball, even if it's at the expense of offense, because
Oh
baseball
my
is weird.
god, they're gonna blow it.
I know. I'm not even paying attention to that
They're
mess
gonna
right
blow
now.
it. They're gonna fucking blow it. Why you take him out? Oh my god, I hate
He
both
was
black dogs.
he was. Oh, you're talking about the Rockies, so you're talking
Yeah,
about the Indians.
No, I'm talking about the Rockies right now.
Yeah.
Bullpen's in the game. They're gonna blow it. Fuck. Anyway,
You
moving
see,
on.
you see your boy Brian Shaw over here looking like
I don't.
2014 Brian Shaw.
But it's hilarious. I do think it's fucking hilarious that he got away from Coors Field and he immediately started throwing way harder than he had in years. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Okay. Okay,
But
Phil
yeah.
Maton, you got out the bases of the jam. I see you.
But yeah, the Rockets are about to blow it. So yeah. Moving on
Wait,
to
they
the
let
next.
them come back?
Huh?
You guys let them come back?
They were leading 6-1 into the top of the eighth. They loaded the bases. Now currently runners at the corners with one out, and they're trailing. And the Reds are now trailing by 3.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it's not gonna go well.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so don't be. Just laugh at them. So the next question. Yeah, like I've gotten to the point with the Rockets where I don't even get mad. I just laugh at them. Yeah, it's sad, I know. So yeah, the next question is from Von Dedon at Slim Reaper 9292. That's our guy.
Yeah.
He has 2 questions. As they stand, are the Yankees a World Series contender? And 2, offseason moves the Yankees should make. We can answer the first question. I actually think I can answer the first question for both of us.
Yes.
Hell yeah, they are.
Yes.
Hell yeah, they are.
Yes. The Yankees are good. People freaking out because the Yankees were bad out the gate are just dumb. First of all, we have a 2 game season this year. Second of all, the Yankees are just too talented, and there's no really other powerhouse team in the AL, especially with the Twins shit in the bed. Tony La Russa looking like an 80-year-old out of touch manager.
Surprise.
And AL West is just meh.
The Astros are good, but like
the Astros are good, but they have holes.
They're not a powerhouse. That's the thing. If the Yankees were in the National League, then maybe I can tell you that okay, they better tighten up, or they're probably going to have to go to the wild card game. But in the American League, no, there's no one there ready to challenge.
I'd put money on them going to the ALCS.
Same.
I'm not confident. They're just unless the White Sox or the Astros or A's or I don't know. The NL West is just very mediocre.
Yeah.
I really can't take those the 3 teams in the AL West that are decent seriously. The Indians are young and in the middle of development. I don't really. If they go to a wild card game, I'm fine with that. I'll take that. But they're just young and trying to figure out who's.
And the Red Sox are playing over their heads. So
yeah, they are.
This is not going to continue. So yeah, in short, are the Yankees a World Series contender? Hell yeah, they are, and they're the best team in the American League. As much as fans want to, go crazy about them just because they lose 5 of 15 games at one point, still the best team in the American League. Don't worry about them. Number 2, offseason moves the Yankees should make. This is an interesting one because I think there's one key question: what do you do with Gleyber Torres?
Yeah, I agree. They need to figure out the infield and who's going to play shortstop long term, and they also need to figure out what they want to do with their pitching. Do they want to bring up the young guys or do they want to sign somebody in free agency, or do they want to trade for somebody free agent who will trade for somebody and sign them? People saying Max Scherzer. I see it, but at the same time, I'd rather see if they figure out the pitching and see what Dave Garcia and what's his face,
Michael King and all those guys,
Michael King
Clark
and
Schmidt.
Clark Schmidt, yeah, what they can do. But I think Clark Schmidt gets hurt right now too. But
I think for the Yankees, the thing is, a lot of the moves they could make in the offseason, they might just make them at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I agree.
They need starting pitching. I think we all agree. Like, Taillon and Kluber have looked okay so far, but they have looked okay. Just okay. You know, not guys that you can count on in a game 7. And Sevy is going to come back from Tommy John. So you don't know what you're going to get from him.
Right.
So I would be shocked. Let me just put it like this. I would be shocked if the Yankees don't pick up one good starter at the deadline. Yeah. I would be shocked.
They also need player position depth also.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So I can see them trading for like a lefty.
Yeah, they need lefty bats or switch hitter.
Yeah.
Francisco Lindor would have done them so well.
Yeah.
They have they're a World Series tending team, but as a World Series tending team, they have holes that would come up in a long playoff run.
Exactly.
Just because of the lack of position player depth. I mean, when you have Mike Ford and Tyler Wade on your bench.
Yo, Yankee fans fucking hate Tyler Wade, man. Like they have just so much hatred for that guy.
Randy Wilkins on Twitter is hilarious. At Pam's son, and then my boy Ryan Garcia, they despise that man.
Yeah,
like he had a 3-hit. He had a 3-hit night a couple of nights ago, and they were pissed.
Yeah, because now he's gonna get 15 more at bats. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I've seen this movie before. Yeah,
that's just vicious.
Yeah, I've seen this movie before. So yeah, I'd say for the offseason, a lot of those moves will be answered during the trade deadline. And if they're not, then look for them to add one more arm, starting pitcher. You know the Yankees are always going to have a good bullpen because that's just what they do. Mm-hmm. But look for them to add one more arm and look for them to probably think that Glare is not a shortstop long term. So maybe, I don't know, maybe if they get ambitious, maybe they go and sign Trevor Story, who is a wonderful fit for that ballpark. I don't know. But they're going to answer your questions at the trade deadline, basically. So yeah. Next question from Mark at IBenFly. That's our guy too.
Good people. Very good people.
Yeah. This is a funny one. Is the Dodgers signing Pujols a good move?
I mean, not really. I mean, he's gonna smash lefties. So I mean,
the only reason they sign him is because everyone and their mother is hurt for the Dodgers right now. Like seriously,
and they're still good, and they can use them. He's probably with their black Dodgers hitting magic. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good
also,
job.
The Rockies are about to blow the lead, by the way.
I'm sorry, Jose got a double. I had to see that.
Oh yeah. The Reds are now trailing by just one run. Tying run is on second. They're about to blow this.
They're hemorrhaging.
But yeah, so is the Dodgers signing Pujols a good move? I mean, not really, but it's that gif of Sean Price, is that whole thing. Yeah, they definitely need him because everyone is hurt. Like seriously, seriously, go look at Fangraphs, like roster resource for the Dodgers, and look at their injured list. It's like half the team is on their injured list.
I'm doing it right now.
Go ahead.
Pulled up already.
Go ahead and count the players.
I'm gonna read names. It's crazy because it's their best players, and they're still good with like a 40+ run differential in the middle of May.
I'm gonna count the players.
That's why you need, and that is why you need depth.
Go ahead. I'm gonna count the players.
Oh, they got the injured list sectioned off by position players and pitchers. Okay, Corey Seager, Zach McKinstry, Edwin Rios, Cody Bellinger, and AJ Pollock is on the injured list for their pitchers. I mean, for their position players.
That's 5.
and that's fractured hamstring, oblique, partially torn labrum, hairline fracture in the leg, and a strained hamstring. Now, there's starters: Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May. Tony Gonsolin has shoulder inflammation, and he's been on the IL for a while. And Dustin May had Tommy John surgery. That's 2 starting pitchers. Bullpen guys: Scott Alexander, Caleb Ferguson, Ruzar Gratterall, Tommy Canley, Corey Nebel, and David Price.
That's 13 players on the injured list, bro.
13 players that were all
good
on the 25-man roster and major leaguers. Oh yeah, they scored. Good job. Okay.
I'm sorry. No, like don't worry about it. But like, yeah, like Mark, like you can kind of see where we're going with this. Dodgers have 13 motherfuckers on the injured list right now. They like every warm body they can get right now. They're gonna sign, and because they're the Dodgers, then Pujols is probably gonna hit like 400 for like a week.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Manny Wood 2.0.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, is it a good move? No, in isolation. Yes, because they need him. So moving on. The last question. Then we might actually keep this podcast under 1 hour. From Jan Huss 1369, he sent us a question last time. Good dude too.
Yeah, he knows his baseball.
Yeah, he does. Especially like baseball history. Like y'all go follow him. Best advanced hitting and pitching stat. That's actually an interesting question.
That was a great question.
You go ahead first. First.
My favorite advanced hitting stat is weighted runs created plus. It makes the most sense to me how we're balancing out the error, and you can use it to judge minor leaguers too. If you guys don't know what WRC plus is, it aggregates stats based on runs created and other things to measure how good players are in a specific league, and you can judge people in different eras. So if you want to compare Albert Pujols in 2005 to Ted Williams like 1947, you can do that and see it really balances things out well.
Yeah.
And being able to use it for minor leaguers as well to see how good they're doing in their specific leagues makes a lot of sense, especially with the pitcher and hitter for the leagues and the minors. And
correct.
It also is good for it. See how good players are relative to their age as well. So it's a pretty good and comprehensive stat. I like expected weight on base, just because it takes base on ball and strikeout rates and other things into consideration, amongst other things. My favorite advanced pitching stat. I actually don't know.
That's a tough question because the hitting stat is easy.
Question. The hitting is easy because it's a lot more easier to aggregate the hitting numbers and see what the guys are going to do. But I mean, with the advanced pitching stats, damn it, Fran Mill. Some of them are good. I like FIP. I really don't like expected FIP because expected FIP neutralizes home run rate.
That shit is trash.
Yeah, I hate it because it forgives guys who allow a lot of home runs, and that's a major issue, especially in the home run era of baseball.
Yeah.
I like Sierra, but I mean, I feel like it penalizes guys who get a lot of weak contact. I have to say FIP. Although it doesn't penalize guys, it doesn't penalize the ground ball guys too much. It takes home run rate into account, because home runs are fielding independent.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I don't know. Like for hitting stats, I would say the same thing Pat said: weighted runs created plus, because it's a weighted stat and it's an adjusted stat. You can adjust it for different ballparks, different eras, different run environments, and it's very easy to understand. 100 is league average. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually like baseball perspectives deserve runs created plus too. It kind of takes good luck and bad luck into account.
I haven't read too much into that, but I do know that it treats Rockies hitters better than all the other adjusted stats.
So yeah, it does. I actually got to use baseball perspectives more. Shout out Jen Ramos. They're the greatest. Shout out Shakia Taylor and shout out Craig Goldstein.
Yep.
Good people are baseball perspectives.
But yeah, like weighted runs created plus for me is like that stat is just easy. 100 is average, higher is better, lower is worse. It's easy to understand. The pitching is actually. I'll probably say like I might just sound like a simpleton right now, but I'm probably just gonna say ERA plus. I don't know, man. Like because I can find flaws in every other stat. Like FIP to me is good, but like there is an actual like FIP to me operates on the idea that as soon as the ball is put in play, the pitcher has no control over how the ball is put in play.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea that FIP operates based on, and I don't think that's true. I think contact management is a real skill. So that's why like I like FIP, but it's only a tool. Like it's only one of the tools. And to me, like at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is run prevention. So if you want to like calibrate how good a pitcher has been at preventing runs over the course of a season, ERA plus. It's not a predictive stat. Like like if you want to get into like predictive, like how predictive a stat might be to calculate how good a guy is going to be a year or two from now, then definitely not ERA plus. But if you're just evaluating performance, then the regular as ERA plus to me is the one that makes the most sense. Because that's why I always get a kick, and that's why I never really use Fangraph's version of WAR when it comes to pitchers, because it's based on FIP and not ERA plus. Like not runs allowed.
Runs allowed per 9 is actually a really good one too.
Yeah, that's actually good. But like, yeah, that's why I don't use Fangraph's version of WAR for pitchers, because to me it's ridiculous. Like at the end of the day, you can theorize a pitcher's ERA, but at the end of the day, the runs that cross the plate are the ones that matter when it comes to performance.
With pitchers, I like strikeout rate, walk rate. I like whip a lot. Although whip isn't really an advanced stat anymore.
Yeah, it's not an advanced stat, but it's a good stat.
It's a good stat.
Yeah, I think that's like
That's it. 1 hour 2 minutes.
Yeah,
we did pretty good.
Yeah, we did pretty good. Yeah, I'm just like thinking over here if I missed something, but yeah, like I think just regular ERA plus and regular WRC plus. Like I sound sometimes like I'm like a big numbers guy, but I'm actually not. Like I just like using them as tools. Sometimes I like
the numbers provide great context, and we kind of aggregate our opinions just
exactly
doing a mixture because the advanced stats, it gives you so much a better and closer look into the game within the game, and everything like that, because it quantifies things correctly. But even a guy's contact management skills, it sees how good guys are at managing contact. Like Baseball Savant is a really good site because it doesn't just show you the numbers, it also aggregates them to see whether they're average, above average, below average based on
percentiles and all that. Where is the mobile app for that one, MLB?
Yeah, they need to make a mobile app by now. I don't see why. They need an MLB film room app too.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that was episode number 25. I don't think I missed anything.
No, we did everything.
Yeah, we did everything. So that was episode 25. Thank y'all for listening. Every time we record, like a day or two before that, we put out, a tweet asking y'all to send us questions. So, be on the lookout for that. And thanks for listening. And if Pat has something to say to sign off, then you can go ahead.
Jose Ramirez is the GOAT.
I agree with that. Peace, people.